stable economy. Therefore, we cannot afford to waste even a single cent, so we have to spend our money wisely and stay healthy. But according to the World Health Organization, there are new emerging diseases that is caused of environmental changes, human and animal demography, pathogen changes, and changes in farming practices. Therefore, the chances of getting these diseases nowadays is very high. And if we get these diseases, we have to spend lots of money for expensive medicines. But these expensive medicines can be replaced by a much cheaper, effective alternative medicine, which is the activated charcoal. The activated charcoal absorbs toxins, germs, bacteria, and other foreign substances in the bodies. And the use of activated charcoal can be traced back to the time of Hippocrates, back to the time of about 460 to 300 BC. Therefore, the effectiveness of activated charcoal is proven and effective for many years. The Center for Traditional Alternative Medicine has always been encouraging the use of charcoal drink. It is headed by Mrs. Casas, which is one of our panelists during our oral defense. So some in the companies, pharmaceutical companies, have produced these charcoal products, but sad to say, it remains unrecognized and unpatronized by the customers because of the fact of its poor appearance and taste. Therefore, the appearance and taste is essential for it to succeed in the business. In view of the facts aforesaid, it is in this regard that the proponents conducted a feasibility study entitled A Proposed Production and Distribution of Flavored Charcoal Drink. So what is a flavored charcoal drink? It is an alternative medicine made up of coconut shells that is made into charcoal. It is black in color because due to its charcoal content, and it says vary because the charcoal itself is colorless and odorless. So for the technical aspect of the proposed project, we have the raw materials to be used. We have coconut shells, which is the primary product of the primary raw materials. It would be converted into charcoal. We have the honey and vanilla, which is used for the flavoring, and alkaline water that is proven to be an antioxidant and also can cure different diseases. So for the production process, first we have to purchase the raw materials. The target supplier would be the carbon market. Next would be the preparing of coconut shells for drying. So we have to remove unnecessary parts of the shells, which is the coconut husk, and place it under the sun for 2 to 3 days. So do not overlap the coconut shells. Next would be the production of charcoal. It would be weighted and also placed into the barrel, and the barrel must have holes at the top of it and it must be sealed. Then we must set fire and place the drum above the fire. For the cooling process, we only have to get the barrel out of the fire and turn it upside down and let it stay for overnight. For crushing and sterilizing the charcoal, we will be using the grinding machine, and after the charcoal has been made powder, we will be sterilizing it for about 15 minutes inside the oven, adding flavor to the drink and also the packaging. So we will mix the alkaline water, the charcoal powder, and the different flavors, the vanilla and the honey. So we have the flavored charcoal drink, which is the Charkie. Black is the new color of health. So production capacity. We have 3 batches every day, and each batch will be using 5 kilograms of coconut shells and will produce 4,100 grams of powder, and every multiplied by the 3 batches we will get 12,300 grams per day, and every bottle will be using 41 grams, so we have 300 bottles per day. So this is the production capacity for 1 year. And for the marketing aspect, we will be having our target market will be Acute, Basak, Cebu City. So to get the sample size, we will be using Slovene formula. To get the sample size, we will be using this formula and we will have 393. This is the result for the annual average increase of the population. It is 719 annual increase in population. For the annual present demand per respondent, we have 365 annual demand. Projected annual demand, we have these results. These are all the results of the projected annual supply. So we have also to determine the demand-supply gap in order for us to determine whether the proposed study has a chance for it to penetrate in the market and if the supply would suffice the demand. Next, projected market share. For the first year, we will be having 0.86% projected market share, 1.10% for 2014, 1.06% for 2015, 1.0% for the 2016, and 1.01% for the 2017. Projected selling price per bottle. So it is assumed that there is an increase of 2 pesos per year. So we'll have 20 pesos for the first year, 22 for the second year, 24 for the third year, 29.12 for the fourth year, and 31.36 for the fifth year. So the management aspect. So there are the pre-operating activities that must be made before the normal operation would be conducted. So here are the schedule of activities to be done. Next, the organizational chart. So we will be adopting sole proprietorship considering the different advantages and also because of its simplicity. So we have the owner, which is also the cashier and the delivery man, charcoal maker, pulverizing machine operator, mixer, packager, and we have one bookkeeper. In order for the business to operate normally, we have to conform with the following requirements, the legal requirements. So here are the legal requirements that must be considered. Next, the taxation. We'll be using 3 types of tax. We have the percentage tax that will be used for the first to third year. The value-added tax should be used for fourth to fifth year because it has exceeded the minimum requirement of 1,919,500. And also we have the real property tax.
Let's go to the financing aspect. So the total project cost or the minimum capital requirement of the project would be 676,674 pesos. It will be comprised of the pre-operating expenses of 4,725, property and equipment of 591,579, and working capital of 18,370 pesos. Since the proposed business will run under a sole proprietorship form of business organization, the source of funds will be financed by the sole proprietor himself. The financial aspect. So this is a graph showing the projected sales of the product for the first 5 years. So as you can notice, it has an increasing trend. So this trend indicates that the business will perform positively. So this is the graph for the statement of comprehensive income. So this graph shows that the business will have an income for the first 5 years, and similar to the projected sales, it will be increasing it will have an upward trend. So the trend is due to the fact that the company assumes 2 pesos of increase in the selling price. So nevertheless, the trend shows a positive performance of the business. So this other graph is the statement of cash flow. The statement of cash flow contains the data on the most liquid asset, which is cash. So as you can notice that the business has an ample amount of cash in it, So the sole proprietor can either use the cash for investment or he can withdraw the cash for his own personal use. So this is the statement of financial position. So the total assets of the business will be increasing for the next 4 years. However, it will decrease for the 5th year. This is due to the fact that on the 5th year, there will be a significant amount of withdrawals, the amount of 400,000. So let's go to the financial ratios to analyze our financial statements. So current ratio. The current ratio is the relationship between the current assets and the current liabilities. So the current ratio for the first 5 years of operations of the business will be 10, 18, 23, 40, and 40. The current ratio is big because of the fact that there is a small amount of liabilities. So the current ratio is positive, so it indicates a positive result. So the contribution margin ratio, this is used for the computation of the break-even analysis. Now let's go to the break-even point analysis. This is a break-even point analysis in pesos, and this is a break-even point analysis in units. So the lower amount of break-even point in units indicates that there is a possibility of big income to go to big income, and a big possibility that operating expenses will be covered. So the return on investment. The return on investment for the first 5 years would be 7%, 19%, 21%, 32%, and 42%. So all of the return on investment is positive, so it is favorable.